Let's take a look at part 1. We are given x squared plus y squared minus 6x is equal to 7. And we are supposed to sketch the graph of this. And this is one that looks pretty much like an equation that is going to be representing one of the conics, circle, ellipse, or one of the hyperbolas. So I'm going to take x squared minus 6x and we will complete the square for this. So that will be 6 minus 3 square minus 3 square, then y square, and this is equal to 7. So we have x minus 3 square plus y square is equal to 9 plus 7 is equal to 16. Or of course, we can see 16 as 4 square because this over here is a circle with the center as 3, 0, and the radius of the circle is 4. So let's try to sketch this circle. So for what we have here, let me sketch a circle. So for this circle, okay, let's say it is this. So for this circle, let me position it here. So for this circle, I know that its center is at 3, 0. And because the radius is 4, so 3 plus 4, this is going to be 7, 0. And 3 minus 4, this is going to be minus 1, 0. And if I were to let x be equal to 0, we will have a y squared is equal to 16 minus 9, which is going to be equal to 7, which means that y is going to be plus or minus square root of 7. So this point here is going to be 0, positive square root of 7. And this here is going to be 0 and minus square root of 7. And here is the origin. The very first thing that we should try to do is to identify this region R. And according to the region, it is bounded by the curve for x to be bigger or equal to 3. And 3 is here. And the line x is equal to 3. So we are actually having this vertical line that is going to be passing through the center of the circle. And we are working on a part of the graph that is bigger or equal to 3. So it is going to be this region. It is this part of the graph. So it is this region that we will be working on. And this region is going to be revolved according to the question about the y-axis, and we are supposed to find the volume of the region that is revolved. So what I'm going to plan do is to have this vertical line here as my reference. This vertical line is when y is equal to minus 4 because the radius of the circle is 4 and this is the minimum point of the circle. So the y coordinate is going to be at minus 4. As for this, the y coordinate of this point is going to be at positive 4. So my plan is to take this part of the graph and rotate it about the y-axis. I'm going to be using integration, integrating it from minus 4 to 4. So what I'm trying to say is the first thing that I'm going to try do is to take this part of the graph from minus 4 to 4. And I'll take this entire region here, rotating it about the y-axis to get me my first volume. But I know if I were to do that, I'll have this extra volume that is in the center here. So I'm going to minus away this region, revolving about the y-axis, giving me a cylinder. And for this cylinder, it's going to be one where the height is from minus 4 to 4. So the height is 8. So it's going to be 8 here. And the radius is this. 0 to 3, so the radius is 3. And with now the strategy that we have just talked about, I'm going to use integration for this and the standard formula for cylinder for this. So let's try to write down the volume. Okay, for this, what we will now need is the equation of the curve. And from part 1, we know for this entire circle, it is definitely this, or from part 1, we also can see that it is this plus y squared. This is equal to 16. And since we are revolving it about the y-axis, I'm going to try and make x the subject. So let me do it here. So x minus 3 square plus y square, this is equal to 16, which means that x minus 3 square is going to be 16 minus y square, and x will be 3 plus or minus square root of 16 minus y square. And since this part of the graph is bigger than 3, because this line here is x is equal to 3. So since this part of the graph is bigger than 3, that means we are working on x to be equal to 3 plus, right? Because this line here is x is equal to 3. So we are working on 3 plus square root of 16 minus y square. So if I were to make use of this graph and we will rotate it about the y-axis, the integral will be from minus 4 to 4 of 3 plus square root of 16 minus y square dy. And this is going to be represent the volume that is going to be revolved, that we're going to be getting when this part of the graph is revolved about the y-axis. And I will minus away the volume of the cylinder, which is pi r square h, pi r square times height. And I can definitely try to integrate this, but at the same time, I need to recognize that in the question, we are given this as a hint. So if you were to look at this and look at the integral that we are writing down here, we definitely need to try to find a way to improvise this, because for the hint that is given, it started from 0 all the way until a. But what we are looking at here is from minus 4 to 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to concentrate on the top part of the graph from 0 to 4. And since it is symmetrical about the x-axis, so if I were to find the volume when this part of the graph is revolved about the y-axis, then I can multiply it by 2, which will then give me the total volume when this entire graph is revolved about the y-axis. So I'm going to rewrite this as 2 times of pi integrating from 0 to 4 of this 3 plus square root of 16 minus y square dy. Minus away this is 9 times 8, so we have a 72 pi. To integrate this, I'm going to expand this. So we have a 2 pi integrating from 0 to 4. This is going to be 3 square plus 6. Then square root of 16 minus y square plus this square, which is going to be 16 minus y square dy minus 72 pi. This is equal to 2 pi. I am going to group this, where this and this, I'm going to group it together to form an integral. So from 0 to 4, it will be 9 plus 16. This is 25 minus y square dy. And this, I'm going to treat it as another integral, so plus 6, integrating from 0 to 4, square root of 16, which I'm going to write it as 4 square minus y square dy. And I guess you can also know why I'm writing it as this, because I am trying to make use of this with the one that the question has given to us. So it is a square minus x square. Now we have a 4 square minus y square from 0 to a, from 0 to 4, which means that this integral is going to work out to be pi 4 square divided by 4. So it will be 6 multiplied by pi 4 square divided by 4. And this is an easy integration. It is going to be 25y minus y cubed divided by 3 from 0 to 4. So we will have this, and we will multiply this by 2 pi and minus 72 pi. Let's try to evaluate this. So it is going to be equal to 2 pi. Substituting 4 in, is going to be 25 multiplied by 4 minus 4 cubed divided by 3. Minus away, substituting 0 in, it is just going to be 0. So this is plus. Plus this times this, we are going to be getting a 24 pi minus 72 pi. And this is going to be equal to 2 pi. This is going to be equal to 236 over 3. Then after that, plus 24 pi minus 72 pi. And evaluating this further, I will get my final answer as 256 over 3 pi. And this plus 48 pi square.